The sound of Aaron Johnson's fingertips accurately tapping the calculator keys echoed in her small home office. As a single mother, she glanced at the clock while making final adjustments to a client's year-end financial statement. She had to pick up her son Noah from school in 30 minutes. "Mom, aren't you done yet?" 10-year-old Noah peeked into the room. His bright brown hair and big blue eyes resembled his father's. Aaron smiled and picked up her coffee mug. "I'll be done soon." "Did you finish your homework?" Noah nodded and showed her the paper in his hand. "I solved all the math problems. But I have a question about history." Aaron always took pride in her son's school performance. She herself had supported their household and raised her son alone while working as an excellent accountant at a small local company. Since her father passed away from a heart attack 5 years ago, her responsibilities had increased, but she never complained. "Can you wait just 10 more minutes? I'll help you with history when I'm finished." The phone rang, and Aaron sighed. It was from her mother, Vivian. "Listen, Aaron. We need to talk about tomorrow's dinner party." Vivian's voice always had a demanding tone. "Amanda is bringing her fiancé. You'll be coming, won't you?" Aaron frowned. Her sister Amanda had always been the favored child in the family. Beautiful and sociable, she was Vivian's favorite daughter. In comparison, Aaron was always told she was too practical and boring. "Of course I'll come, Mom. I'll bring Noah too." On the other end of the line, she heard her mother sigh. "Well, I suppose that's fine. But make sure he behaves himself. Don't let him ruin Amanda's special day." Aaron swallowed her words. Noah was always a well-mannered child. If there was a problem, it was with her mother and Amanda. "Don't worry." "So, what does Amanda's fiancé do?" "Michael Foster. He's an investment banker from a very wealthy family." Vivian's voice was filled with pride. "He's perfect for Amanda. He graduated from Harvard, he's cultured, sociable." Aaron rolled her eyes internally as she listened to her mother's boasting. Her mother's values were always focused on appearances and social status. The next day, Aaron and Noah arrived at Vivian's luxurious suburban home. Taking a deep breath at the entrance, Aaron gave Noah's shoulder a tight squeeze. "It's okay, Mom," Noah said. "I know Grandma and Aunt Amanda don't like us very much." Aaron's heart ached at her son's perceptiveness. Children are more sensitive than adults realize. When she opened the door, she could already hear Amanda's high laughter coming from the living room. She was wearing an elegant cocktail dress, holding a glass, and talking to an unfamiliar man. "Aaron, Noah, you finally made it." Vivian greeted them with a cold smile. "Amanda, Aaron, and Noah are here." Amanda turned around and smiled at her sister, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. "Aaron. I'm so glad to see you. This is my fiancé, Michael Foster." Michael stood up and turned to face Aaron. He was tall with dark brown hair and kind eyes. And something brushed the corner of Aaron's memory. It was a face she had seen somewhere before. "Nice to meet you, Aaron," Michael said in a quiet voice. "I've heard a lot about you from Amanda." He extended his hand, and Aaron shook it. His hand was warm, and his grip was gentle. "Nice to meet you too," Aaron said. "This is my son, Noah." Michael smiled at Noah and looked directly into the boy's eyes. "Hello, Noah. I'm glad to meet you. What grade are you in?" "Fifth grade," Noah answered, a little nervously. "That's a wonderful age. When I was in 5th grade, I made a model of the solar system for the science fair." Michael's voice was gentle, and he seemed used to talking with children. Amanda cleared her throat disapprovingly. "Michael, could you pour me some wine?" Aaron had a good impression of Michael. He seemed mild-mannered and thoughtful. It was surprising that he was engaged to someone with a self-centered personality like Amanda. During dinner, Vivian and Amanda talked endlessly about wedding preparations. The wonderful wedding dress, the high-end reception venue, the famous catering company. Erin's opinion was never sought even once. "Erin, you don't need to worry about the dress since you're not a bridesmaid," Amanda said abruptly. Erin looked up in surprise. "I'm not a bridesmaid. I'm sorry, but we haven't been very close for a long time, have we?" Amanda's voice was filled with fake sadness. "Besides, you must be busy. Being a single mother, with work and all." Vivian nodded in agreement. "That's right, Erin. We don't want to burden you." Erin felt a pain in her chest but kept her expression unchanged. She was used to rejection from her family. Noah's hand grasped hers under the table. Only Michael wore an uncomfortable expression. He cleared his throat and quietly said, "But isn't family participation important? I think Erin and Noah should be part of this special day." Amanda turned to her fiancé with a surprised look. "Of course, they're invited. It's just that the bridesmaids are already set with my close friends." Erin sent Michael a grateful smile. At least he seemed to be a considerate person. After dinner, while Erin was helping with the cleanup, Michael came into the kitchen. "Can I help?" he offered. "It's fine, I'm used to it," Erin answered. "Amanda and Mom expect me to fill the practical role." Michael silently watched her for a moment. "You're different from what Amanda told me," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" "Nothing," Michael smiled. "I just hope we'll have more chances to talk with you and Noah." After he left, Erin was struck by a strange feeling. Michael's face flickered in her memory. She must have met him somewhere. But she couldn't remember when or where. In the car on the way home, Noah suddenly said, "Michael seems like a nice person. I wonder why he's marrying someone like Aunt Amanda." Erin couldn't help but laugh. "Noah, you shouldn't say things like that." But deep down, she had the same question as her son. As the wedding preparations progressed, Erin felt increasingly alienated from her family. Amanda and Vivian didn't share the wedding details with her or ask for her opinion. Still, she quietly handled the behind-the-scenes work. Addressing invitations, communicating with the venue, fine-tuning details, areas where her meticulousness as an accountant came in handy. "You're helping again." One day, Michael stood beside Erin as she worked on preparations. "Amanda seems too busy to handle these practical matters herself." "Don't worry about it. I'm good at this kind of thing," Erin shrugged. Michael observed her for a while before saying, "You know, you seem familiar somehow." Erin stopped and looked up at him. "I've been feeling the same way. But I can't quite place it." At that moment, Noah came running into the room. "Mom, Michael. I finished my homework." Michael smiled at Noah. "What kind of homework was it?" "A history project. I researched the Roman Empire," Noah answered proudly. "Really? I love history too." Michael sat down next to the boy and showed interest in his project. Erin felt a warm feeling spread in her chest as she watched the scene. Michael seemed to have a genuine interest in her son. Amanda's fiancé was clearly different from the men in the past who never bothered to meet Noah despite becoming part of her family. A week before the wedding, Michael made an unexpected phone call. "Erin, I want to talk to you about something." His voice was serious. "I want you to be the maid of honor." Erin was so surprised she lost her words. "But Amanda didn't even choose me as a bridesmaid. I asked her myself." Family is important. Especially on important days like a wedding. There was determination in Michael's voice. Amanda eventually agreed. Erin felt conflicted. She doubted her sister was truly happy about it, but she was filled with gratitude for Michael's warm gesture. The next day, Vivian called Erin in a fury. Amanda is crying. Why did you ask Michael for such a thing? I didn't say anything. Michael suggested it himself. I can't believe this, Vivian spat out. You always make yourself look like a victim and try to ruin Amanda's life. This is her special day. Erin took a deep breath to stay calm. I want Amanda to be happy. If she truly doesn't want me to be her maid of honor, I'll decline. You can't decline now. Michael has already decided. Vivian's sigh was audible. Just don't stand out too much. This is Amanda's day. On the wedding day, Erin arrived at the church early with Noah. She wore a modest sky blue dress. It might have been too simple for a maid of honor, but it was out of consideration not to upset Amanda. Mom, you look beautiful, Noah smiled. In the preparation room, Amanda was surrounded by bridesmaids, dressed in an extravagant wedding gown. When Erin entered, her sister merely glanced at her and gave a cold nod. Well, Erin, Vivian said with pursed lips. That dress is, well, it's just like you. The ceremony proceeded solemnly. Erin stood behind Amanda, maintaining a smile as she gazed at Michael's gentle expression. He occasionally glanced at Erin, smiling reassuringly. The reception began, with the entrance of the bride and groom, toasts, and dancing. Erin sat at a table with Noah, quietly enjoying their meal. Soon it was time for speeches. Amanda stood up and took the microphone. She looked around the room and turned her gaze toward Erin. Suddenly, her smile transformed into a malicious expression. Everyone, thank you for coming today, Amanda said in a sweet voice. I'm happy to share this special day with family and friends. After talking about the joy of marriage for a while, she suddenly pointed at Erin. By the way, this is my sister Erin. A single mother who has lived without being loved by anyone. Uncomfortable laughter rippled through the venue. Anyone want to take her in? The blood drained from Erin's face. Noah's small hand gripped hers tightly. Just kidding, just kidding. Amanda said with a laugh. Some in the audience laughed, but many shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Vivian took the microphone. Our eldest daughter is always so serious and boring, she said in a glossy voice. She's second-hand goods, but still usable. Comes with a defective son. This time, laughter erupted from various parts of the venue. Erin sat frozen. Tears welled up in Noah's eyes. Mom, he said in a trembling voice. Erin slowly stood up and took her son's hand. Let's go, she said quietly. But at that moment, from the corner of her vision, she saw Michael slowly rising. His face was red, clearly restraining his anger. The venue fell silent, all eyes turning to the groom. Michael took a deep breath and moved away from Amanda to take the microphone. His eyes caught Erin's, trying to convey something. The venue became deadly quiet. Michael's expression showed a severity never seen before. With the microphone in hand, he began to speak slowly, emphasizing each word. Ladies and gentlemen, today has become a day when I make the most important decision of my life. However, it is not the decision you might think. The smile disappeared from Amanda's face, replaced by confusion. Vivian stood frozen. First, let me say a word about that speech just now. Michael's voice was calm, but clearly suppressing anger. Those words directed at Erin and Noah were cruel and thoughtless. I cannot share such values. Amanda started to open her mouth, but Michael quietly raised his hand to stop her. Actually, there's something I want everyone to know. Michael took a deep breath and continued. Erin and I have not met for the first time. Erin looked up in surprise. Something was starting to stir within her. The fog in her memory was gradually clearing. 10 years ago, when my sister Caroline was fighting leukemia, Erin was working as a volunteer at the hospital. Michael's voice trembled slightly. I was 22 then, and I was saved by the kindness and strength of Aaron, who was 25 at the time. During the last few months of Caroline's life, Aaron continued to support her and our family. Hot tears welled up in Aaron's eyes. Caroline Foster. Of course, she remembered her. A young woman diagnosed with leukemia in her mid-20s. Aaron herself had experienced the same illness when she was young, and after recovery, she had started volunteering at the hospital as a way to give back. Even after Caroline passed away, Aaron continued to care about our family, Michael continued. After my sister's death, it took me a long time to recover from the deep sadness. He choked on his words for a moment, then began speaking again. Then 3 years ago, I met Amanda at a party. I was attracted to her brightness and sociability. I didn't learn that Amanda was Aaron's sister until after we started dating. Michael's eyes turned to Amanda, and his expression mixed with sadness and disappointment. The stories I heard about Aaron from her, looking back now, were all filled with prejudice. But I wanted to believe people could change. Amanda's face began to contort with anger. Vivian had collapsed into a chair. After our engagement, I began to notice Amanda's true nature, Michael quietly continued. I was particularly shocked when I first saw Noah. He was the little boy who occasionally came to Caroline's hospital room. Aaron gazed at Noah. Her son, who was 5 at the time, sometimes accompanied her hospital volunteering. He would give handmade cards to the sick people, brightening the hospital rooms with his genuine smile. 10 years ago, Noah was just a 5-year-old child, but he had a special talent for making my sister smile. Michael's voice softened. When I learned he was Aaron's son, I felt it was destiny. Noah's eyes widened. I remember. I gave that lady a crayon drawing. Michael smiled. That's right, Noah. Caroline treasured your drawings until the very end. Michael's expression tightened again. During our engagement, I had doubts about Amanda's and Vivian's cold and self-centered personalities. Especially their attitude toward Aaron and Noah. But I was hoping they would change. Today's speech has completely shattered that hope. Michael slowly removed his wedding ring. Gasps of surprise rose from the audience. Today, I'm canceling this marriage, he said quietly but firmly. 10 years ago, Caroline's last words to me were that real family respects and supports each other. Amanda and Vivian, you are living contrary to that teaching. Amanda suddenly screamed. This is a joke, right? Michael, what are you saying? This is no joke, Michael said quietly. I'm doing the right thing now. He walked over to Aaron and Noah. I've been searching for a long time. For the kind soul I met at that hospital. He extended his hand to Aaron. Let's leave together. Aaron wiped away the tears streaming down her cheeks and took Michael's trembling hand. Noah also stood up and grasped Michael's other hand. Wait! Vivian shouted. Do you have any idea how much this wedding cost? Michael turned back and quietly said, I will cover all expenses. Please send the bills to my office. As the three of them left the venue, Michael respectfully bowed his head to the priest. I'm sorry for the disturbance. In the bright sunshine outside, Aaron felt like she could breathe freely for the first time. I can't believe it. She whispered. You really don't remember Caroline? Michael gently asked. Aaron closed her eyes, tracing her memories. I can't forget her smile. Especially during those last few weeks, when the pain was severe, she was always positive. Aaron's voice trembled. But honestly, I didn't remember much about you. Back then, I was interacting with so many patients. I always remembered you, Michael said quietly. How much you devoted yourself to others, how strong and kind you were. After my sister passed away, I tried to find you, but I didn't know your contact information. Noah looked up at the two of them and asked, "What are we going to do now?" Michael placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. "How about we have a quiet meal somewhere? And, let's talk about what happens next." Erin smiled. In her heart, a door that had been closed for a long time was slowly beginning to open. As Michael's Lexus pulled out of the church parking lot, angry shouts could be heard from behind. In the rearview mirror was the image of Amanda running with her wedding dress hitched up. Her makeup was smeared with tears, and her once perfect hairstyle was disheveled. Vivian was also chasing after her daughter, out of breath. "Michael! Come back!" Amanda's screams reached inside the car. Michael sighed deeply and looked at Erin. "Are you okay?" Erin exhaled shakily as she looked out the window at the chaotic wedding venue. Guests were confused, whispering to each other, and some were taking photos with their mobile phones. Amanda's friends were surrounding Vivian, trying to calm her down. "I don't know," Erin answered honestly. "But I want to leave this place with Noah." Noah was quiet in the back seat, but his eyes still showed traces of tears. "Mom, are you okay?" he asked in a small voice. Erin turned back and smiled at her son. "I'm fine, Noah. We're together." Michael parked the car at a small restaurant along the coast. From the terrace seats, they could see the calm sea, and the evening sky was tinged with gold. The three sat in silence for a while, staring at their menus. There were too many emotions to put into words. "I'm sorry," Michael broke the silence, "for creating this situation." Erin shook her head. "You have nothing to apologize for. Rather, thank you for protecting us." She turned her gaze to her son. "Especially Noah." "I'm fine," Noah said. His voice was trying to be strong, but his small hands were visibly shaking. "I know what Grandma and Aunt Amanda said isn't true." Michael gently placed his hand on Noah's shoulder. "You're a special child, Noah. Do you know how much Caroline looked forward to your visits? She called you her little son." Noah's face brightened. "Really?" "Yes, it's true," Erin also smiled. "Caroline's face always lit up when you came." Their food was served. Erin ate with a sense of security she hadn't felt in a long time. Michael's quiet presence was strangely comforting. "Michael, tell me," Erin hesitantly asked. "Why did you get engaged to Amanda? Did you really love her?" Michael thought for a moment before answering honestly. "At first, I was attracted to her brightness. After losing Caroline, my world had sunk into darkness. Amanda was full of energy, and being with her made everything around me seem brighter." He continued, turning his water glass. "And when I learned she was your sister, I felt something like fate. Even if I couldn't remember you, maybe I felt some connection." Michael smiled ruefully. "But as time passed, I realized Amanda's brightness was superficial. She constantly sought attention and lacked compassion. Especially toward her family. Yet you still plan to marry her?" Erin asked curiously. Michael shrugged embarrassedly. "I believed people could change. I tried to see her good side. And..." He hesitated. "And?" "To be honest, it was difficult to change a decision once made. The expectations from others were also high." Michael looked up and gazed at Erin. "But today, seeing you and Noah treated that way, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I had to follow my true feelings." His mobile phone rang, and Amanda's name appeared on the screen. Michael sighed and ignored the call. But it soon started ringing again. "Maybe you should answer it," Erin suggested. Michael reluctantly answered the phone. Amanda's shouting voice leaked from the speaker. Erin and Noah tried to focus on their meal, but they could hear Amanda's fierce accusations. Michael responded in a calm voice, though occasionally showing a tired expression. Amanda, I've made my decision, he finally said firmly. Let's talk through lawyers tomorrow. Don't contact me again tonight. After hanging up, a heavy silence fell. Sorry, Michael said apologetically. Erin shook her head. Don't apologize. This situation is complicated, isn't it? Where are we now? Noah suddenly asked. The adults exchanged smiles at his innocent question. Now? Michael considered. Maybe at the beginning of a new path. After dinner, Michael drove Erin and Noah home. Stopping the car in front of the apartment, he walked with Erin to the entrance. Thank you for everything today, Erin said quietly. The moonlight dyed her hair silver. Thank you too, Michael looked straight into her eyes. Can I see you again tomorrow? The three of us. Erin smiled. Yes, of course. Mom, ask Michael. Noah suddenly appeared at the entrance. He said he'll tell me all about Caroline. Michael laughed. Of course, Noah. I promise. Erin stood at the entrance, watching Michael return to his car. As he turned back and smiled at her, a warmth spread through her heart. Upon entering the apartment, there were several angry messages from Vivian on the answering machine. Erin. How could you do this to us? Amanda is hurt. You brainwashed Michael, didn't you? Erin sighed and deleted the messages. Noah, take a bath. You have school tomorrow. Mom, Noah tugged at Erin's sleeve. Do you like Michael? Erin was surprised by her son's straightforward question. I don't know him well yet, Noah. But he seems like a good person. I like him, Noah said with conviction. He's Caroline's brother, and he protected us. And he was watching your smile. Erin stroked her son's head. You're very observant. That night, after Noah had gone to bed, Erin was looking out the living room window. There was a mixture of confusion and hope in her heart. Her cell phone rang with a message from Michael. Did you get home safely? Is Noah okay? Erin smiled as she replied, We're both fine. Thank you. A reply came immediately. I'm glad. Good night, Erin. How about coffee after you drop Noah off at school tomorrow? Erin felt her heart beat faster. Yes, that would be nice. Good night, Michael. She held her phone to her chest and exhaled deeply. The family rift, the wedding chaos, and this unexpected reunion. Everything was unfolding rapidly. But strangely, a peace she hadn't felt in a long time filled her heart. 1 year later in autumn, with the beautiful maple leaves changing color, Erin was hanging the sign for her new accounting office in Maple Park. The words, Johnson Financial Services, gleamed in the morning light. The small business she had started with Michael's encouragement and support had gained a local reputation in just a few months. Mom, hurry up. We'll be late for school. Noah called out energetically. Now 11 years old, he had grown taller and wore a confident expression. Selected as captain of the soccer team, he was now popular at school. I'm coming. Erin smiled at him. The changes in life were evident in her as well. Her shoulder-length hair had regained a healthy shine, and there was a light of confidence in her eyes. I'll drive him, Michael poked his head out from the entrance of their new home. Since last Christmas, the three had been living together. They weren't engaged yet, but their bond deepened day by day. But don't you have an important meeting today? Erin asked worriedly. Michael shrugged. Being 30 minutes late won't end the world. It's Noah's important day. They stopped by a small cemetery in the center of the city. After placing fresh flowers on Caroline's grave, the three quietly put their hands together. I kept my promise, sis, Michael whispered softly. Erin held his hand, and Noah placed a small stone on the gravestone. It was a special custom between Caroline and Noah. I still feel like she's watching over us, Noah said quietly. Erin leaned against Michael, resting her head on his shoulder. Thank you, Caroline, she said in her heart. A few miles away, Amanda was packing her belongings from her luxury apartment. After the wedding scandal, she had gradually become estranged from society, and her former friends had drifted away. Especially after Vivian tried to file a lawsuit, even after Michael had paid for all the wedding expenses, she lost her last supporters. Amanda was preparing to move to a small apartment. She could no longer maintain her lavish lifestyle and had to learn to live within her own income for the first time. The same was true for Vivian. Her friends avoided her, and her life full of vanity gradually became a lonely one. Occasionally, she tried to contact Erin, but always received a cold response. She was finally beginning to understand that her actions had created an irreparable rift. On Christmas Eve evening, Erin, Michael, and Noah were relaxing in front of the fireplace. Noah was already asleep, dreaming of waiting for presents. Michael quietly took a small box from his pocket. Actually, I have something I want to give you. Erin stared at the box in surprise. When she opened it, there was a beautiful emerald ring. This is. It was Caroline's, Michael said quietly. She said, when you meet someone truly special, give this to her. Tears welled up in Erin's eyes. Really? You and Noah have brought light to my life, Michael took her hand. Will you marry me? Let's become a real family. A real family is connected not just by blood, but by heart, Erin smiled, speaking Caroline's words. Yes, she answered. We're already a family, aren't we? Outside the window, snow had quietly begun to fall, as if announcing a new year and a new beginning.